So this is a video aimed for the people out there in their early game account days where most people, especially if they played gacha games before, tend to find an efficient enough way to progress their account. Clear some stages, build up the base, gambling on banners for high rarity operators you really want. But who do you upgrade and clear with before those moments? Moments where you just have so many resources to the point of building whatever you want without too much repercussion. Just as an example, my account. Starring Best Waifu, the Cafeteria Destroyer, and a smaller than average cat. But within the build cast, you can maybe identify other operators I've used during the struggles of an early to mid game account. Where am I going with this? Well, I dunno, but here are some personal recommendations for 4-star operators. Characters that will be useful at Elite 1, and maybe you'll boost them to Elite 2 at a later time, when your account is a bit more developed. We're starting this off with a real-life turtle, Kora. If you need a durable defender and nothing else, here you go. She's also the rare operator that can block a whole 4 enemies with the use of skill 2. To compensate for the extra blocking and subsequent damage Kora will likely be taking, extra defensive stats are needed, and luckily, she gets quite a lot. Between the passive talent boost and mega defense buff from skill 2, the turtle is a chunky wall to get through. At least if it's not arts damage, do keep it to physical tanking please. Kora does one thing, but it's an essential role in this game if you want to hold the line. Next up is the delicious Goomy. Though I'm not the greatest fan of sugary sweets like that, Goomy is sweet herself, has sweet cooking skills, and a sweet in-game kit. Guardian defenders wall up like every other 3-block defenders while possessing the ability to heal. Combining 2 different roles into one operator tends to be great value for investment, especially when you're strapped for resources early on. Goomy does have one thing over her 3-star counterpart, Spot, and that is her skill 1, automatically healing every so often. By that I mean it's not a lot of SP, so it'll just happen. Perfumer is mostly known for one thing. Besides fulfilling the role of a multi-targeting healer, this operator has a buff that not many operators get. Global healing. Regardless if it's the stronger Elite 2 talent or just the base one unlocked at Elite 1, the ability to slowly regenerate operators' health anywhere on the map, even ones that can't be normally when directly healed, opens up a good amount of tactical options for you to play around with. Gravel, your quintessential easy to access fast redeploy. Pop in that fast redeploy tag in recruitment and you have yourself a sacrificial rat, which is how and why people use her. She take hits well, at least on the initial deploy, as regardless of which skill you use, the buff will decay over time, so drop, tank, retreat, and repeat. When you drop Gravel down, enemies that can attack her will attack her, because of the whole mechanic of enemies prioritizing the latest deployed operator. Gravel also helps a ton with some of the earlier chapters, cough cough, chapter 5 Faust, cough cough. Myrtle! That's all next operator. Yep, the DP printer herself is here. Leave a Myrtle somewhere on the map for long enough and she will just churn out lots of DP, giving you the ability to deploy your stronger operators sooner. Though Myrtle hasn't been in the spotlight for a while now, she is still fantastic at doing the one thing Vanguards do, and mostly that. Generating DP, which by the way I'm only talking about skill 1 because it has a shorter DP cost and skill duration, so the skill comes back more frequently. If you raise it to Elite 2, it just gets shorter and sooner when you max out skill 1. And you get some healing utility for your other Vanguards as a nice bonus. Speaking of utility, Mei is up next, and it's what separates her from many other sniper options. Honestly, as far as low rarity operators go, you can probably bring her to most maps and you'll be okay as you eventually amass your favorites over time. The utility mentioned takes the form of slows and stuns, which means Mei can be used as a stalling tool, on top of the usual single target sniper class duties. Slows and stuns allow for a longer window for your other operators, or just Mei, to nail a few extra hits in, and with the surprisingly chunky attack buff, she won't struggle as much against higher defense enemies. But even when she does negligible damage to those enemies, the crowd control is there to help out, so she still contributes in a meaningful way. This next sniper operator is considered sort of underrated, depending on who you ask, but has quite the loyal following within the community. That's right, Jambriel! Similar to Perfumer, she's also got global range, but instead of helping allies, she contributes by sniping enemies that otherwise would be hard to reach. Or if there is just not many enemies near your front line, it's free poking. You won't get offensive global range like that with any other operator. Genuinely, the only operator that also has this edge at the time of making this video is Golden Glow, but only Ambriel is able to selectively target the lowest defense enemies. The next 2 picks I have lumped together here. Pinecone and Cutter are here for more or less the same reason. Burst damage, i.e. dealing lots of damage in a short time frame. For Pinecone, she's got a very nice skill 1, just doing more damage and everything in her attack range. On top of the additional defense ignore, it can hold 3 charges of this skill, so you can save up and unload when you need to. For Cutter, skill 2 is often the one that gets talked about the most out of the 2 skills. It's versatile because it hits both ground as well as aerial enemies, and you will be chunking for a good amount each activation. For these 4 stars, the damage is high enough to be valued as a selling point. To cap off today's list, we have the Sea Chef man himself, Jay. Don't let the periodic DP drain deter you from his value. He's just a merchant and a self-sustained machine. After a skill 2 activation, he will start healing himself and others nearby based on the damage dealt, which means his deployment choices are quite flexible. As long as Jay can get enough damage off consistently, you won't really have to worry about supporting him with other operators, because he'll just heal it all up, which can lead to some fun strategies to mess around with. And those are just some operators I felt like highlighting today. I'm sure you have your opinions on other 4 stars I didn't mention, so put them in the comments if you want to get it out there. Maybe you'll outgrow your 4 stars for higher rarity units, or you'll stick to them and get them to that Elite 2 status. Which isn't the worst idea in the world since lower rarity operators cost less materials to upgrade, but I leave those decisions to your own, do your thing, and have a nice day.